Now you might be knowing that Kirchhoff's current law and voltage law, these are very famous laws for solving the electrical networks, electrical or electronics networks. This is a very famous law. So everyone must be knowing this. Again, in Kirchhoff's law, there are basically two laws. One for calculating the unknown current, which is called Kirchhoff's current law. Another is calculating the voltage, which is called Kirchhoff's voltage law. As you are knowing, the Kirchhoff's current law is applicable to the node or the junction point, and Kirchhoff's voltage law is applicable in the loop or the mesh, right? So what is loop and what is node, that we have covered. Now let us see what is Kirchhoff's current law. Okay, so here you'll find the statement for Kirchhoff's current law. I think everyone is knowing this. Algebraic sum of currents meeting at a node is always equal to 0. When did I say the algebraic sum of currents meeting at a node is always equal to 0? The summation of current at that particular node is always equal to 0. Very simple. Now look at, this is an example, right? Now first of all, what is node? Can someone tell me what is node or junction?
Junction.
Yes. Where more than two branches are meeting. It is a junction point where more than two branches meeting. I given an example of railway station. There is a simple railway station or there is a junction of railway station. See, what is the difference? In the railway station, only the railway comes from one side and goes to another side, and which stays at that point. So this is a station only. But whenever there is a junction, that means there is a third line where the train is going. One which is the train is coming, another way where the train is going, and there are two ways where train can go. One is the input, two which is the output. So this is the point called junction. Same thing is here. More than two branches are meeting at that particular point. That point is known as junction point or node. Now see this example. Here I1, I2, I3, I4, I5. The 5 branches are meeting. So for the current, there are 5 branches are meeting. So hence it is called a node, right? So out of these five branches, you can observe that the current I1, I2, and I3, these three currents are meeting at that point. The current is incoming towards the node, as we can say. And current I4 and I5, the current which is outgoing from that particular node. So this is the outgoing currents. So currents are input and currents are output from that same node. Now see, there is a sign convention. Now which current to take positive and which currents to take negative? Actually, this is depends on us. You can have your own sign, but here in most of the books and most of the material available, you will find that the incoming currents are positive and the outgoing currents are negative. So we'll also follow the same thing for not getting confusion. Sometimes you can also see outgoing currents are positive, incoming currents are negative. This is same thing. Ultimately, the final equation will be same. Don't worry about that. But let us assume that with the majority, that incoming currents are positive and the outgoing currents are negative. So keep in mind that these things. If that particular node, the currents are incoming, then consider it as a positive, and the current is outgoing from that node, then consider it as a negative. Clear? Okay. Now you can apply the Kirchhoff's current law to this node. So as per the sign convention, what we have, the current I1, I2, and I3, these are the incoming currents. So let us take it positive. So I1, I2, I3, these are the positives. Outgoing current I4 and I5, these are the outgoing currents. So take it as a negative. So minus I4, minus I5, and summation of that node is equal to 0, so equal to 0. Now let us arrange in another format to neglect this negative sign. So we have to insert the equal sign. So I2 plus I3 plus I3, that is equal to I4 plus I5. So by using this equation, we can have another statement for Kirchhoff's current law. What is that? The algebraic sum of incoming currents is equal to the outgoing currents. This is another statement you can write. Both statements are valid. The algebraic sum of the incoming currents is equal to the algebraic sum of the outgoing currents. Same thing. Ultimately, the final equations will be same. So this is known as Kirchhoff's current law. Hope you understood it. If you have any question, you can ask. Now, similarly, Kirchhoff's voltage law. Now here, we'll replace current by voltage. The algebraic sum of voltage around a closed loop will replace node by loop is always equal to 0. So two things we need to change. One is the voltage, replace current by voltage, replace node by loop. Algebraic sum of voltage around the closed loop is always equal to 0. In mathematical form, summation of V at loop is equal to 0. Let us consider this an example. There is a voltage source Vs, one resistance R1, and with the series of that, there is another resistance R2. So R1, R2 and voltage source Vs, these all are connected in series. So this is forming a closed path for current. And we know that the closed path for current is nothing but the loop. Right? It is called the loop. So we can apply KVL because it is a loop. Okay. So we have three elements in this circuit, in this loop. One is the voltage source Vs, another is the resistance R1, and then again the resistance R2. So this voltage source will circulate a current which is known as I. Mark it as a I. The current which is flowing through this resistance R1 and R2. Now, we know that there is a voltage source. So always we know that whenever there is a DC source, then we know the direction of the current, or we know the direction of positive polarity and the negative polarity. This is always given. So positive at this side and negative at downside. So this is always given. No need to worry about how to mark the polarity. Now, how to mark polarity for the remaining element present in the loop? See, there is a resistance R1, R2. Now see how to mark the polarity for these resistances. Now look at sign convention for KVL. Just like we have seen sign convention for KCL, incoming currents are positive, outgoing currents are negative. Same we'll see where to take positive and where to take negative in case of loop analysis. Okay, so look at this. For understanding this thing, I consider the resistance. So look at this resistance R1. Now the polarity for resistance, positive at this left side and the negative at right side, and the current is flowing from negative towards the positive. Current is flowing from negative towards the positive, then take it as a positive. This is called actually potential rise. See, current is flowing from negative side to the positive side. This is what the polarity we have marked. And how to mark that polarity, I'll tell you. Negative to positive, the current is flowing. So that means lower potential to higher potential. So that's why it is called potential rise. Negative potential to higher positive potential, it is the potential rise. Consider it as a positive. Right? Now, opposite of that, potential drop. Now, the current direction will be opposite to this previous case. That is, current is flowing from positive towards negative, and it is called potential drop. And consider it as a negative. Current is flowing from positive towards negative, higher potential towards lower potential, so it is called potential drop. Consider negative. Okay, clear? Now apply all these things for this loop. Now for this loop, we have a voltage source whose polarities are given positive at upside and the negative at downside. As per this polarity, what we can have? We can have the direction of current. This is what the direction of current that we can know. So first thing, in the loop, identify the voltage source or current source. After identifying that voltage source or current source, mark the direction of current. See, next thing is what? Mark the direction of current. Here we have marked the clockwise direction of current. Why? Because up positive at this side, negative at down side. So current will always flow from positive to negative. So it will be clockwise direction. Now this is the current we have marked at both resistances R1 and R2. Now third thing, mark the polarity for each and every element present in the loop. After marking the direction of current, mark the polarity for every element in the loop. Now apart from this voltage source, here actually the polarity is given, and based on that we are marking polarity for the remaining element in the circuit. So let us see for this R1. This side will be positive because when the current flows, then the current touching to the point, this will be positive. Obviously, next side will be negative. Again, this side is positive, this side is negative. The touching point of this current will be positive to each and every element present in that loop. This is because of the voltage source is given. Now fourth step, write the KVL equation for that loop. Now we have here the KVL equation. Now Vs is positive. Why Vs is positive? If you see, the current direction is this, negative to positive, that is potential rise. So take it as a positive. So Vs is positive. Minus IR1. See, R1, the current is flowing from positive to negative. So we have to take it as a negative. So IR1, V is equal to IR. So we need to take the voltages. Voltage summation करायची आपल्याला. Right? So here, even though there is a resistance, but across resistance, there is a voltage drop. So V is equal to IR. So minus IR1. Again minus IR2 because the current is flowing from positive to negative. So this is again the potential drop equal to 0. This is we got the Vs minus IR1 minus IR2 is equal to 0. Or Vs is equal to IR1 plus IR2 by neglecting the negative sign. That is again equal to I, taking I as a common in bracket R1 plus R. We can simply simplifying this equation. So this is about the Kirchhoff's voltage law, how to apply in the loop and their sign convention. So hope you understood. If you have any question, you can ask. समजलं का? Current law, voltage law clear ना?
सर
Yes.
सर करंट निगेटिव्ह पासून पॉझिटिव्ह कडे कसं काय फ्लो होतोय राईट्स मध्ये?
आपण पोलॅरिटी मार्क करतो इथं. म्हणजे असं आपण ज्या वेळेला इक्वेशन लिहितोय बरोबर, तर त्यासाठी आपल्याला पोलॅरिटी लागणार आहे. मग पोलॅरिटी आपण कुठून मार्क करतोय? जो व्होल्टेज सोर्स दिलेला आहे, त्या व्होल्टेज सोर्स किंवा करंट सोर्स दिलेला आहे त्या सर्किटमध्ये, त्या लूपमध्ये, त्याच्यावरून आपण पोलॅरिटी मार्क करतो. पोलॅरिटी का मार्क करतोय? कारण की आपल्याला कळावं की बुवा करंट कुठून फ्लो होतोय. हे सगळं आपल्याला इक्वेशन लिहिण्यासाठी, म्हणजे दिस इज द अझम्पशन. ठीक आहे, आपल्याला इक्वेशन लिहायचंय, त्यासाठी आपण हे करंट डायरेक्शन जी पोलॅरिटी दिलेली आहे ती मार्क करतो त्याला. बरोबर. आता इथं करंट निगेटिव्ह टू पॉझिटिव्ह आणि पॉझिटिव्ह टू निगेटिव्ह फ्लो होत आहे, म्हणजे याचा अर्थ असा नाही की हा सोर्स आहे. सी, दिस रेजिस्टन्स इज अ पॅसिव्ह एलिमेंट, इट इज नॉट प्रोड्युसिंग द सोर्स. आपण जरी त्याला इथं पोलॅरिटी दिलेली पॉझिटिव्ह आणि निगेटिव्ह, पण तो रेजिस्टन्स एनर्जी सोर्स नाहीये. तो त्याला पॉझिटिव्ह आणि निगेटिव्ह दिलेला आपण मार्क, ते फक्त आपल्याला इक्वेशन लिहिता यावं म्हणून दिलेलं आहे. तो काही एनर्जी सोर्स नाहीये की तो पॉझिटिव्ह प्रोड्यूस करेल आणि निगेटिव्ह प्रोड्यूस करेल आणि त्याच्या अक्रॉस आपण काही एलिमेंट लावलं तर करंट फ्लो होईल. आपण हे इक्वेशन लिहिण्यासाठी पॉझिटिव्ह आणि निगेटिव्ह पोलॅरिटी त्या रेजिस्टन्सला मार्क केलेली आलं. आणि करंट डायरेक्शन त्याच्या अक्रॉस मार्क केली आपण, ती कशामुळे? तर त्याच्यामध्ये त्या लूपमध्ये एक व्होल्टेज सोर्स आहे. त्या व्होल्टेज सोर्स नुसार आपल्याला माहिती आहे की करंट कुठून कुठे फ्लो होणार. आणि नेहमी एक गोष्ट लक्षात ठेवा की ज्या इलेमेंटला करंट म्हणजे त्याचा स्टार्टिंग पॉईंट कोणता आहे, पॉझिटिव्ह पॉईंट कोणता असेल की जिथं करंट टच होत आहे त्या पॉईंट, तो पॉईंट पॉझिटिव्ह पोलॅरिटी असेल, हे लक्षात ठेवा. आपण ऍक्च्युअल अजून सर्किट पाहू तेव्हा तुमच्या लक्षात येईल, अजून क्लिअर होईल. ठीक आहे, इथपर्यंत आलं लक्षात? येस ऑर नो?
सर माझा क्वेश्चन असा होता की करंट रिव्हर्स कसं काय फ्लो होतोय पोटेन्शियल राईज मध्ये साइन कन्व्हेन्शन.
रिव्हर्स करंट कुठे रिव्हर्स फ्लो होईल? करंट तर त्याच्याच डायरेक्शनला फ्लो होतोय ना. हा व्होल्टेज सोर्स आपल्याकडे पॉझिटिव्ह कडनं करंट निघतोय आणि निगेटिव्ह कडे येतोय, रिव्हर्स नाही फ्लो होते ना. हे इथं हे मी तेच सांगितलं ना, मग हे इथं जे कन्सिडर करतो आपण, हे इक्वेशन लिहिण्यासाठी कन्सिडर करतो आपण, हे अझम्पशन आहे. रेजिस्टन्स काही करंट प्रोड्यूस नाही करत आहे, तो त्या सर्किटमध्ये त्या लूपमध्ये आहे, तो करंट टेक करतोय. इट इज अ करंट कन्झ्युमिंग पॅरामीटर. त्याला आपण जे पोलॅरिटी मार्क केली ही या व्होल्टेज सोर्स कडनं, करंट फक्त व्होल्टेज सोर्स मधूनच फ्लो होणार आहे. ते रेजिस्टन्स मधून फ्लो होईल. रेजिस्टन्स करंट कन्झ्युमिंग डिव्हाइस आहे, करंट प्रोड्युसिंग नाही. येत आहे का लक्षात? करंट रिव्हर्सल नाही होत आहे. आता इथं तुम्ही म्हणाल पॉझिटिव्ह टू निगेटिव्ह आहे आणि करंट निगेटिव्ह टू पॉझिटिव्ह आहे, तर हे करंट तसं नाही येते. इट इज नॉट अ सोर्स. त्याच्यामधून करंट जात आहे. द रेजिस्टन्स इज अ डिव्हाइस. रेजिस्टन्सला आपण पॉझिटिव्ह टू निगेटिव्ह जरी त्याच्यात म्हणजे पोलॅरिटीचा संबंधच नाही, रेजिस्टन्स कसाही कनेक्ट करा तर करंट फ्लो होणारच आहे. बरोबर ना? याच्यात कन्फ्युज नका हो तुम्ही.
सर म्हणजे व्होल्टेज ड्रॉप झाला तर निगेटिव्ह घ्यायचं आणि इन्क्रीज झाला तर पॉझिटिव्ह घ्यायचं.
हो, हे साइन कन्व्हेन्शन आपल्याला समजण्यासाठी आहे की पॉझिटिव्ह टू निगेटिव्ह असेल तर त्यावेळेला निगेटिव्ह घ्यायचं आणि निगेटिव्ह टू पॉझिटिव्ह असेल करंट डायरेक्शन तर त्यावेळेला पॉझिटिव्ह घ्यायचं. हे आपल्याला समजण्यासाठी. आणि अजून नीट समजावं म्हणून त्याला असं म्हटलेलं आहे पोटेन्शियल राईज म्हणजे पॉझिटिव्ह आणि पोटेन्शियल ड्रॉप म्हणजे निगेटिव्ह. ठीक आहे.
येस.
Now apply this Kirchhoff's voltage law and current law in the given. So again, one example given for better understanding. Now look at the same circuit that we consider for the practical session. So look at that. So what we have here, the resistance R1, R2 and R3, these are connected in T network with the source E1 and E2. Now let us have, I told you the process by which you can go. Step 1, identify the voltage sources which are there in the circuit. So it is a positive, negative E1 and here E2, positive, negative. So as per that voltage source, mark the polarity for the current flow. So here positive to negative, so this will be clockwise. You can have this, and here positive to negative, so this will be anti-clockwise. See, second step. Third step, as per that current direction, mark the polarity for each and every element present in that loop. Now see, this is the starting point for this resistance, so mark this as a positive, right? Again, this is the starting point, so mark it as a positive. Same for this loop 2, this is the starting point, so mark this positive. Again, same thing here, again mark this as a positive. The remaining points will be negative. Now we have two loops, and if you see the circuit, you can observe the circuit, there is only one X, and this Y, this is called the reference node. We cannot take in the calculation. Why? Because the negative of the battery is connected to that node and there is no element present from that negative of the battery towards the node. No element is present. So this is only a reference node. Here, look at that. From this positive to X, there is a resistance R1. Positive to X, there is resistance R2. X to Y, there is resistance R3. So there is only one node and there are two loops in the circuit. Now look at node X, the incoming current is I1, I2, and the outgoing current is I3. So equation we have I1 plus I2 minus I3 is equal to 0, or I1 plus I2 is equal to I3. So this is the reference node. So here we are saying Y is the reference node. So KCL not applicable to that. Now KVL at loop 1. Look at that. E1, the current is flowing from negative to positive. So it will be positive. For R1, the potential is dropping positive to negative, so it is minus I1 R1 and minus the current I3 from R3, minus I3 R3 is equal to 0, or E1 is equal to I in bracket R1 plus R3. This is simplified equation. Same for loop 2. Here E2, the potential is rising, so E2 is positive. For R2 and R3, potential is dropping from positive to negative, so minus I2 R2 minus I3 R3 is equal to 0. So this is we got, and E2 is equal to I in bracket R2 plus R3. This is the simplified equation. So this is how we can apply Kirchhoff's laws to the network.